You ever have those mornings where the shop feels like it's actually glad to see you? Everything's exactly where you left it. The humidity hasn't tweaked your table saw top, and the coffee actually tastes like coffee instead of sawdust.
Can't say I have, Tiger. Usually my shop greeting is me tripping over an extension cord I swore I coiled up last night. But I like the optimism. It's Wednesday, and we've got a massive stack of tech and trade news to move through.
Well, let's get into the heavy metal first. I was looking at the lineup for IMTS 2026. These guys at MC Machinery are bringing some gear that makes my brain hurt in the best way possible. Specifically, this Mitsubishi SG70 Sinker EDM.
Okay, for the folks who aren't knee-deep in industrial chips, Sinker EDM sounds like something you do at a lake with a fishing pole. What are we actually talking about here?
It's more like lightning in a bathtub. You're using electrical discharges to erode material, but the kicker is this lights out capability. We aren't just talking about a machine that runs while you're at lunch. We're talking about a shop where you flip the light switch, go home, have a steak, sleep 8 hours, and when you walk back in the next morning, that machine has been working with submicron precision the entire time. No coffee breaks, no complaining about the heat.
It sounds a little eerie, honestly. A silent shop humming in the dark.
It's beautiful, especially when you pair it with something like that Roku HC658 high-speed mill. It's the difference between carving a statue with a butter knife and having a swarm of microscopic robots do it for you.
Speaking of speed, I wanted to pick your brain on the web-first side of things. We're seeing companies like SendCutSend hit 450 employees. They've basically turned industrial fabrication into an Uber Eats experience. You upload a CAD file, click a button, and a box shows up.
It makes me think about the 90s, Alex. If I wanted a custom bracket back then, I had to find a shop in the Yellow Pages, drive over there with a napkin sketch, wait for a guy named Murph to stop smoking his cigar, and then wait 3 weeks for a quote that was usually scribbled on a piece of cardboard.
And now Murph is replaced by an instant quote engine. Does that take the soul out of it for you, or is it just better business?
It's survival of the fastest. Look at the Prima Power EP Series press brakes. They're moving away from hydraulics and going servo-electric.
Wait, why does the how matter if the metal gets bent the same way?
Because hydraulics are like an old farm truck, lots of power, but they can be a bit sluggish and leaky. A servo-electric system is like a Tesla. It's all instantaneous torque and snappy acceleration. You get shorter cycle times and, more importantly for my floor, no puddles of oil to slip on. It's cleaner, it's more repeatable, and it doesn't hum like a frustrated refrigerator all day.
Since we're on metal, let's talk careers. You've always said that holding the torch is only half the battle.
It's the entry fee. If you really want to move the needle on your bank account, you have to look at something like the AWS Certified Welding Inspector, the CWI. Every time I see a young welder who's got the talent but is frustrated with their hourly rate, I tell them, start looking at the paperwork.
You're telling people to do more homework? Bold strategy.
I'm telling them to become the person who says yes or no to a bridge staying up. That's where the leverage is. And the AWS is making it easier to get there. There's a laser welding certificate course coming up in Illinois this July. If you aren't looking at laser welding, you're looking at the past. It's precise, it's low heat, and it's where the high margin work is going.
And for the people who want to run the whole show, I saw you mention the Job Shop Lean conference in Michigan.
Lean is just a fancy word for stop wasting your life. It's about organizing your shop so you aren't wandering around for 20 minutes looking for the one 9/16 wrench that hasn't grown legs and walked away. If you can master lean principles, you aren't just a guy with a welder anymore. You're a manager who can save a company 6 figures just by moving the scrap bin closer to the saw.
That leads perfectly into our Maker Mogul segment. You're big on reducing friction, but some of our listeners sell custom, one-of-a-kind pieces. How do they give an instant quote without losing their shirts?
Here's the secret. Most people don't actually want a perfect price immediately. They just want to know if they're in the right ballpark.
So you're saying don't make them wait 3 days for a formal estimate?
Exactly. If you build custom dining tables, put a calculator on your site. How long, how wide, what wood, boom, give them a range. If you make them wait for an email, they'll spend that time looking at someone else's Instagram page. You want to capture the excitement while it's hot. Don't let your artisan process become an excuse for being slow at business.
I can hear the woodworkers cringing already, Tiger, but my art can't be quantified.
Your art can't be quantified, but your rent can. Give them a number, build the trust, then get to the shop and make something beautiful.
Speaking of making something beautiful, we've got some DIY mastery to cover. You mentioned the rule of three for finishing. I've seen your finishes. They look like you could dive into them. What's the catch?
No catch, just patience. Everyone wants to slap on one thick coat of poly and call it a day. That's how you get drips and bubbles that look like a middle school art project. My rule is simple. 3 stages of sanding. And don't you dare skip 150 grit to get to 220 faster. Then 3 thin, whisper quiet coats of finish.
And the third three?
The final buff with paste wax. It's what gives it that old world feel. It's synonymous with quality. If you do it right, the wood doesn't look finished. It looks like it's glowing from the inside.
And what about the joinery? I've seen those videos of 45 joints every woodworker needs to know. Is that actually necessary or just showing off?
It's mostly showing off. If you try to put 45 different joints in one cabinet, you'll end up in a padded room. You only need a couple of signature moves to look like a pro.
Such as?
The stop groove. It's such a small thing, but it means your joinery doesn't show through the edge of the piece. It says like, I thought about this before I turned the router on, or the breadboard end.
Explain the breadboard end for the people who think it's just a fancy way to cap off a table.
It's the ultimate, I respect the wood move. Wood is alive, Alex. It wants to breathe, to expand and contract. If you just screw a piece of wood across the end of a tabletop, the table will eventually tear itself apart or crack down the middle. A breadboard end uses a specific tenon and peg system that lets the wood move while keeping the top flat.
So it's basically engineering disguised as decoration.
Everything in the shop is engineering, eventually. We just cover it with a nice stain so people think we're artists.
Well, before we wrap up and I let you get back to your glowing walnut, let's give the people a takeaway. We've covered everything from robotic EDMs to the physics of table expansion. What's the theme for today?
I think it's about the bridge between then and now. You can love the traditional craft, the smell of the shavings, the feel of the torch, but you have to embrace the precision of the new world. Whether that's a servo-driven press brake or just an automated quote button on your website, the goal is the same: doing better work, more efficiently, so you have more time to enjoy the result.
Be a master of the craft, but don't be a slave to the old way of doing things.
Exactly. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a piece of walnut that needs its third coat, and I think I hear the coffee pot calling my name.
Go for it. We'll see you all next time in the Tiger Den.
Take care of your tools. They'll take care of you. See ya.